Welcome, friends, again to our effort of making various series of talks on SME and MSME with Dr. CA Chaitanya Shah. The last episode, we had concentrated on a topic which was importance of MSME in Indian economy. Those who have missed that may would want to refer on our channel on that particular episode. In this episode, we are going to talk about the pitfalls that an MSME especially faces on startup. And we would request Chaitanya Shah to speak about three important aspects, which in his view and based on his long years of experience, result into a downfall or a failure of a startup or a MSME, which has been started with great enthusiasm, family funds or borrowed funds, and a vision to do good for oneself and for the employees that it intends to employ. Chaitanya, over to you.
Yes, Kartik, I think this is the right beginning for the SMEs, SME owners, and the budding entrepreneurs who are entering the uh, excellent world of opportunities which are being created in the economy. However, as we know, there is a huge mortality rate of the businesses, particularly in the initial stage, which we can call it as an idea stage or something. And for this, there are first is with which the entrepreneur wants to start his journey. Second one is the lack of awareness and seriousness about the financial discipline. And the third is, by and large, inadequacy of resources, right resources, as required.
Yeah, before you go
Now,
further, Chaitanya, I think there was a little
yes,
bit of a technical problem, and perhaps we missed your first pitfall uh, for the mortality that happens in an MSME, and it was insufficient evaluation of business idea.
business idea. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the point which I think we are going to deal with in our this episode of the series. Now, as and when as any entrepreneur starts with the business idea, he must evaluate the business idea in a proper manner. I would start with a very relevant case which I had handled. A person who was working in a production department in one of the large corporates, he thought that he knows the business now because he had the production technology available with him. And the other two areas which he thought necessary was the sourcing of the material and the market where the material is going. Based on that, he left the company, brought in one business finance partner, and started a business. Now, for 3-4 years, he struggled and put in a lot of money into the business and was running into serious difficulty. At that point of time, we got engaged and went into the depth of it. And we realized that except for the production technology, he had no other business acumen for running a business successfully.
Yeah. So what we have found, Chaitanya, during our discussion in our career is that there is huge enthusiasm that somebody has.
True.
He is very good in one of the areas that he specializes. In the example that you took, he was a technical person and he had the production capabilities and a huge experience to be able to produce that product at a good
Yes,
price.
he was very good at it.
And he was very good at it. But what we are trying to bring out here is that you may be good in technical side, in production, but a business to succeed needs not only good production, it requires sales, it requires funding, it requires good people, and it requires updation of technology and so many other things. So typically, typically, in your view, which is the first pitfall that any person faces after he is an expert in his particular field, which has prompted him to start this particular venture? And again, as I said, with his funds, with hard-earned resources, with his family funds, and what have you.
See, if you put it that way, first I would put it business success is like a recipe, running a business. The way in recipe there are different ingredients. Similarly, for a business success, there are different ingredients. And the three most important ingredients based on what we just mentioned and discussed. One is understanding the market, which market we are planning to address. Second is production and delivery capabilities, whether we have sufficient knowledge, technical knowledge, if it involves any manufacturing or something, and whether we have sufficient manufacturing capacities or are we geared for it or not. And the third is, these two are not enough. Third is most important, that after going through all these hassles, whether you will be in a position to make the money. Because ultimately, unless the business is financially viable, it doesn't make any sense for somebody to put in hard work and use so many resources. Hence, as we mentioned at the beginning, evaluation of the business idea is most important. That's where most of the entrepreneurs fail, and the business fails ultimately.
Correct. So if you were to summarize our today's episode, that the most important in our view, a pitfall or a or an area which needs to be sufficiently evaluated before somebody gets into an SME, startup of an SME, is to adequately evaluate the business idea, not only from the area of expertise that that person has with himself, but a 360-degree view about all aspects that are required to make a business a success. Therefore, it would be perhaps right to say that he should be ready to wear not one hat, but many hats, and be good at all of them to be able to make a success, especially in the startup period. Thank you, friends. We have tried to give you a very quick bird's eye view on pitfall and mortality cause for an MSME. In the second episode, we will bring out and in detail about the other areas which we believe any startup should concentrate on. Should you have questions, and please address them at details which would appear on our screen, and we would be too happy to address them in our next episode. I hope these episodes are making good sense, and we look forward to go on continuing making these episodes for the benefit of MSME at large and for every individual who wants to make a success of his business. Thank you. Thank you for being with us.